Okay, let's try this again. Now, we seem to be having some technical problems. We're going to try going again. I had to sign off and I'm signing back on again. So, there. Now you have, oh, hi, Laura. It's good to see you. Lisa, I'm good to see you back too. Can y'all hear us this time? I certainly hope so. I had to sign completely off, come completely back in. I'm hoping that it'll make the difference. Also, I wanted, please remember to hit the thumbs up. You can hear and see. Yay. Thank you, Lisa Johnson. I appreciate that a lot. I really do. Lisa Clark just came back too. Laura, Miss Greenraven, are you still there? And if so, please say something. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Let me holler and let Lonely Prepper Homestead. Hello, it's good to see you. And Heaven's Essential, it's great to see you too. There, I had to let Dave know that he can come back in. We're starting something new today. I hope you guys like it. First off, David's going to be with me. We have a chair right there, and he's going to be joining me. We're going to do this side by side, and hopefully you guys will like that, and you'll be able to have a little more input with both of us. She's gone hunt country farms. Good to see you too. I'm real thrilled. Oh, Grammy Karen. Hi, lady. How are you today? Anyway, Dave's going to be sitting here with us once he gets finished in the other room. We're having some technical problems, and he was in there trying to get them solved. And I've got some gappy problems here on my blouse. Hello, Christy. It's good to see you too. As apparently, quite a few people are having internet wacko problems today, including me. This is our second try to get this thing going. So, um, our subject for today, like you saw when you got the announcement, was what do you want to talk about today? Uh, one of the things I want to have happen with this group is I want to build a group of people who come on here like a family and talk. Lisa says, please pray for me. I had to put my kitty down on Friday. It was totally unexpected. And I cried. Oh, Lisa, I am so sorry for you, sweetie. That is such a difficult thing to do. We've had things like that happen too, and it's just so sorry. That's so sad. We definitely will pray for you and ask the Lord to comfort your heart. I'm so sorry. Yeah, everybody is. That's terrible. Anyway, guys, um, I really would love to see this be a place for people to come and share with friends. Hi, Dave. It's the sound is very low. Can I turn the volume up on the microphone? Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. Let me know if that any better. I turned it to 3, which I assume is up, not down. Do any of you have something special that you want to talk about? Much better. Okay, good. This is a microphone. It's a separate microphone from our computer, so I'm not sure how to do it. Thank you, She's Gone Country. I appreciate that. Well, good. Doug's coming back. Uh, I know you all know that Dave is my husband, but you know that he does the camera work for us and the editing for us. But what you probably don't know is he's about half of the thought process that goes into making every video, that goes into every live stream. Dave and I sit and talk and do it all together. Thank you, Green Raven, Laura. I appreciate it. It's nice to know that the sound is better. I don't know if this is going to be a forever microphone, if we're going to have to get one that's a little better, but I'm glad at least it's working now. So anyway, because he is an important part of Inside Kate's Kitchen, I have talked him into joining us on screen and being part of the live stream. He's my taste tester on the cooking videos, and now he's going to be part of the talking as well. So I'm really glad that he's decided to join me. There you go.
I'm exhausted.
It's a long walk.
Okay, the sound should be a little better. I'm not sure what was going on, but when I went in the other room, it said my chat was disabled, and all I could see was the earlier that we canceled, so I had to go back to start over again. But
Well,
anyway, hopefully we're back.
Yeah, when you close it out and start another one, you have to go all the way back to the beginning to see it as well.
All right, well, we're just going to
So
leave it the way it is. I'm not going to mess with anything
Christy
right now.
says hello to you.
Hi there. Hello
Christy
there.
Bettis. Texas Life, hi. Good to see you today. Sorry for me taking a quick drink. I was thirsting away over here.
Forgive me for being out of breath. My COPD is pretty bad, and just jinning around back and forth between a couple of rooms kind of wears me out sometimes.
Makes it hard to talk.
By the way, I noticed someone here lost a kitty. Who was that?
Lost it. Oh, Lisa.
Lisa, I'm very sorry. I've lost more critters over the years than I can count.
Right.
And it's always just a terrible, terrible burden.
Andrew O'Shea, thank you for joining us from the UK.
Ah, yes, I remember Andrew from last week, Lincolnshire. Yeah.
Yes, and Lonely
Hello,
Pepper
Andrew.
Homestead. Glad to have you here. Do you think there'll be more people transitioning back to wood stoves in the future?
If the electricity goes out, yeah.
That's kind of a hard one for where we live for two reasons. First of all, there's no trees around here to cut down. We live in what used to be a cotton field, so there are just no trees of any kind. Secondly, with no trees, wood heating or wood cooking is almost impossible. Celtic Bear, hello, welcome. Mama's in
Thanks,
the garden
Andrew,
here too.
for your comment on the beef. That was a very interesting video to put together. Kate's plans now are to take some of that beef that she preserved and actually take some other things that she has in the pantry that she's also canned
And dehydrated.
and put together a full meal from just the things that she has worked on, such as the beef. She's got carrots and potatoes
and green peas and onions.
All kinds of things that she's either dried or canned. And actually put some dishes together using what we have in our pantry that Kate has put up, and record some of those. And so you can see that, it's not just a matter of making stuff and then putting it on a shelf and leaving it there, but you actually do use those products as well.
Right.
So, hello, Celtic Bear. Good to see you again here. So I'm going to try to be the backseat driver here and just kind of play around over here and let Kate do most of the talking, but I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut, so I'll probably be in sometime. But hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Yes, Kate kind of twisted my arm to do this. I'm more of a behind-the-scenes kind of guy, I think.
Texas Life, I have never dehydrated frozen potatoes. I would think it'd be easy. I've done peas and I've dehydrated plain potatoes, so it might work. Iron Fire Horse, hi, good to see you.
Texas Life, are you talking about grating the potatoes and then?
Well, you buy them frozen, grated.
Oh, okay.
So.
And then dehydrating them?
Right. A lot of people have done it. I just never have because we don't use that. We don't use grated potatoes that much.
That might not be a bad idea.
Green Raven, you're dehydrating apples and celery today, making bone broth and elderberry service. My word, you're a busy lady today. That's amazing.
What kind of bone broth, darling? Are you making beef or chicken?
Thank you, Teresa, for praying for Lisa Karp. That is really wonderful. That's so nice to hear. Celtic Bear, blanch and dry what?
We lost the best dog that I've ever had about 3 years ago. And it took me over 2 years before I would even have another dog in the house. Luna was just an amazing animal. even Kate loved her, and Kate up to that point really was not a dog person. But
Still not.
Luna won her over. She got hit by a rattlesnake out in our backyard and took a strike right in the throat, and she was probably dead within just a matter of a few minutes. But
Laura
it
is
just
making beef
tore
bone
me
broth.
up. Ah, beef bone broth. Good. Okay.
And,
Oh, and hot sauce to go with your
yeah, she's gone
Thai
country.
peppers. Wow, that sounds
Celtic
good.
Bear, I do blanch potatoes before I can them or before I dry them. It sets the starch so that they turn out better when they rehydrate or when you cook them after you've canned them. Texas Life, I purchased frozen mixed vegetables to dehydrate. I've been thinking about that, but we're not doing a lot of soups right now. Haven't done them for a couple of years, so I didn't want to build up a big stock of things to use for soup and then not have a reason to use them. I probably should, though. She's Gone Country says, "Oh my goodness, that's horrible." Oh, about the cat, yeah. Sorry about the noise. She's Gone Country Farms loves dogs. When I was a kid growing up, I loved dogs, but that was mostly because the dogs we had were my dad's work dogs. He was a police officer and used the dogs in his work, and they became our pets afterwards. But for a while, I just didn't have dogs at all, and I love cats. I have always loved cats, so I just became a cat person. We now have another dog. I think I'm slowly becoming a dog person again.
Well, it looks like we're talking about lost pets today because Celtic Bear lost her dog 2 weeks ago. That's terrible.
That is so awful.
It is. You're right, Lisa Clark. It is hard to lose our fur babies. Like I said, I've lost more animals over the years than I can count. And every one of those losses, I can remember still, I think every name of every pet that I've ever had in my life. And I'm 72, and I've had critters all my life, literally since I was born. So
Andrew O'Shea asked if he's
thank you, Christy.
He's doing some lamb products.
Yeah.
He's making lamb, except a little bit.
Yeah, I see that. That's
And
cool.
he asked if I've ever done anything with lamb. Lamb here in this part, since Texas is cattle country, lamb is extremely difficult.
That's
You have
them
to hold
sheep
a-
peoples.
Pardon?
We don't mess with sheep peoples.
Anyway, lamb is very, very expensive. So no, I don't. I have made some lamb, but not a lot. Maybe I should one day. Iron Fire Horse says
She's Gone Country is allergic to cats. That's too bad. I think
Let's see,
you
Iron
miss
Fire
a
Horse
lot.
said one of her 16-year-old cats disappeared a little over a year ago. Christy Bettis has 5 puppies right now. Oh my goodness.
Big Wave, Florida. Cool. Welcome.
Hello. First time
Welcome.
catching our live. One of the flower. I'm the one from Flower. Oh, yes, from Flower Bluff. Been working on my fall garden all morning. It's still hot in Central Florida. I'm glad to see you back, Big Wave. I appreciate you coming in. And Leonard, I'm glad to see you here too.
Well, I lived in Tallahassee for about 15 years, Big Wave, so I was up in the panhandle. But yeah, Florida can be hot way into the latter part of the year.
Yeah, it is. It's quite hot.
Okay, let's see what else we got.
I met a lady last week at a friend's house who has 11 small dogs and 5 large dogs, and she lives alone with all of her dogs. I can't imagine having that many dogs in one place.
That's a little weird. That's a little weird.
Well, she seems to love them, and they're all, or most of them are rescues, so
Green Raven said first time in 20 years that she only has 1 dog.
yeah.
I know the feeling. Right now we have a dog, a cat, 3 large birds, and some fish.
Welcome, Lisa. Thank you. I'm glad you came in. That's Lisa Hensley.
Pyrenees. Oh, wow. I love Pyrenees. They're so just gentle giants.
And they're beautiful dogs.
Yeah, they are.
They are just
They are.
gorgeous, but I don't have them. Big Wave Florida says his name is Kevin. It's still too early for brassicas here, but I have planted the seed. Did you plant them inside, Kevin, or did you go ahead and plant them straight in the ground? Do brassicas do well in cold? It seems to me that they do well in, the cold we get. Hello, Annalyn. It's great to see you.
And Lisa Henley, hello, welcome.
Oh my goodness.
It's easier to talk than it is to type, I guess. So
Did you see? Lisa has 3 dogs and a cat and a 5th wheel. Mrs. Green Thumb, it's good to see you too. What's cooking today? Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Let's see. You planted them in trees, in seed trays. Yeah, I was afraid of that.
what do you mean they'll bolt? What does that term mean?
It means
They
it will
bolt.
bloom and go to seed.
Ah, okay. Shows how much I know.
Deborah
South
it's good to
Carolina.
see you. Welcome.
Oh my, 3-month drought. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, canned chili.
Canned chili.
Kate made some bread yesterday,
Yes,
so
I
we'll
did.
have some. We've got fresh bread in the house. Oh, it drove me nuts last night when it's cooking. Whoa.
It smelled really good and turned out better than
Yeah,
what I've made lately. It was, and the worst of it was a box mix. It was not from scratch. I'm sorry.
What?
to
You
say.
told me you made that all by hand. Did you ground
I
the flour?
did make it by hand. I stirred it with my own hand. Actually, I put it all in the stand mixer and turned the button on by hand.
Lisa making bread is surprisingly easy, I think.
It is.
I'm very good at watching Kate do all this stuff, by the way.
The secret to making bread is taking into account the humidity and the temperature in your kitchen while you're making it. Yesterday, it was a little cool in my kitchen, so when I let it rise, I put it inside my electric oven and turned on the oven light. That took care of what humidity was in there, and it also made it a little warmer, and it rose beautifully. So,
Leonard Caroya, what type of Arabic food are you talking about? I lived in Turkey for about 4 years. Not the same thing, but a lot of the dishes over there are very similar. And yeah, in Turkey, there were some dishes there that I just loved. I wish I could get them again, but they're just, they even the restaurants here locally that are supposedly Middle Eastern food, they don't hold a candle to what I used to eat in Turkey.
Lisa
But,
Johnson, I'm sorry your oven is out.
Oh my!
That would drive me crazy. Fortunately, Dave just recently bought me a small one of those countertop ovens that does not just toasting and stuff, but it does baking, and it has what's the thing called?
Convection.
Convection. It does convection. I'm learning to use convection oven, which has been interesting. First thing I made in there was dry as a bone.
Lisa, I see you're in Tucson. You know of a little town between you and Phoenix called Coolidge. It's up near Casa Grande. That's where I was. Well, I was born in Florence, but I was raised in Coolidge for quite a few years. Graduated high school there, as a matter of fact. So actually, I'm an Arizona native. That's where I was born.
Kilted Gardener is here.
Oh,
hello, Kilted
hi there.
Gardener, and thank you for my new T-shirt. That is so cute. I really appreciate it. By the way, I need you to email me after the show. I need to talk to you about some things.
Those Insta Pots, I've wondered about getting one of those for Kate.
Electric pressure cooker.
Yeah, but we've got so many pots and pans around here.
Yes, we do.
I mean, Kate's got, what, 2 different pressure canners?
I have 2 pressure canners, and I have 2 water bath canners.
Water bath canners.
And I have several stock pots.
Yeah.
And I have 2 complete sets of cookware.
One of which is all cast iron.
And the other is Revereware.
Yeah, so
the copper bottom.
She's got more pots and pans than she can use.
I do.
Okay, let's see. Mrs. Green Thumb. Hi
Lynx
there.
Acres. Hi.
Lynx Acres. Hello to you. Good to see you here.
Actually, where I put them all is number 1. I have what I call a equipment closet. It was originally supposed to be the pantry in our house, but it's way too small to be my pantry. So all of my regular cooking things and small appliances go in the equipment closet. Then I also have in the room next to my kitchen, which used to be a breakfast nook, I have all of my canning supplies stored. So it gets busy. It really does.
And we have an entire bedroom dedicated to the pantry.
Yeah, that's my pantry now, is the bedroom. Let's see. Love my canner and high pressure canner. Yeah, I have 2 of each, Mrs. Green Thumb.
Ham cooking in aluminum is toxic?
Mine are not aluminum. Mine are stainless steel or what's it called? Cast iron.
Cast iron. I had no idea that aluminum
Aluminum
And
is
hand
really bad.
it
The
next.
club aluminum that used to be so popular is not a good thing to use. I've heard a lot of people that got sick
I
using
don't know that I've
aluminum.
ever really had aluminum pans.
I had some for a while, but I didn't keep it.
Well, I've wondered about one of those Insta Pots, Celtic Bear, and if when Kate asks for something, I do the best I can to get it for her.
Yes, he does.
We're still waiting on her sun oven to show up. That's her newest acquisition. But oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you, Kate is going on a trip next weekend.
I don't want.
She's going out to the front yard.
Yeah, you already started. Let's tell him.
Well, you go ahead and tell them now.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. The reason I didn't want to say anything is because I want to surprise Blake, who is Daddy Curbs of Daddy Curbs Farm. I will be attending the Good of the Land Festival, where he is going and he's going to do his live show. And I just plan on showing up in the middle of his live show and saying, "Hi, I'm here," and surprise him, because he expects me to be at home, and I told him I probably would not be available to moderate that show. So,
See that Christy Betts is moving into a tiny home.
yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be an.
I'd have to have.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll go ahead.
I'd have to have a tiny home just for my cooking stuff.
We never expected to be in a home this large.
That's enough.
We've got about 3,000 square feet in the house, and then a triple garage, and a small barn and a shed. So altogether, we've got a whole lot of space, but it's kind of more than we can handle sometimes.
Mary's Nest is here. Hello,
Hi there.
Mary. It's so good to see you. I am so good. Kilted, the reason I wanted you to email me is because he's going to have a giveaway, and I'm not going to be there with my computer to take care of it. So I need you to take care of that for me. Thank you.
Wow, 100-year-old cast iron. That's got to be a real precious possession. I would, that would be cool.
Mary, I'm so glad you caught us live too. I really am. I've really been enjoying your videos lately. You've been doing some good ones. Once I get some land, I plan on doing a canning kitchen and process. That's what I truly wanted to do, Lisa, was have a 20 by 20 canning and processing kitchen, but it just didn't turn out that way. And the kitchen that I have is really kind of small, so I had to extend into the breakfast nook and into the other bedroom. So I'm sorry. Guys, if y'all have not met Mary's Nest, she is an absolutely awesome creator. She does cooking naturally, and it is a wonderful, wonderful channel. You need to check her out. She is wonderful. And she likes me too, according to what she just said there. She's also a neighbor. She's just right up the road about 60 or so miles from here. So
Everybody loves you, Kate. You know that.
One day, Mary and I are going to get together, and we're going to film it, and I think that's going to be fun. Oh, let's see. My camera's over here. What I'm watching.
The big screen is over here, and the laptop is there, so it does look a little odd, I'm sure.
It looks like I'm ignoring the camera, but I'm trying not to. I'm trying to look at both.
Huh.
Need email? You need our email?
Celtic Bear?
Oh, thank you.
As far as Mexican cornbread recipes, Big Wave,
I need to.
we don't use a lot of hot food here. Kate is allergic to all forms of peppers, like green peppers, red peppers, jalapenos, any of them. And I do mean deathly allergic, so we don't use those anymore. It is different from my dietary requirements, so obviously we adjust. I would love to have some good Mexican cornbread, but I'm not even going to ask Kate to make it.
Well, as long as I don't have to,
she'd be in contact with the peppers.
I'll get rubber gloves and wear a mask over my face so I can't smell it when it's cooking, and maybe I'll do all right.
Yeah, that would be.
I just can't eat it.
I'm not going to ask just because of the potential danger, sweetheart. I wouldn't do that. So,
Well, thank you. Let's see.
okay, I think what was the topic for today?
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And everybody's bringing things up that they want to talk about.
Okay.
Celtic Bear, I hope that helps you. It's on all of my channels and everything, so you can reach me there if you need to. Mama's in the garden says my kitchen is small and cluttered, but last year I finally got my gas cooker, which I love. Mama's in the garden.
Gas
I would
cooker.
love to have gas in my kitchen. This home is an all electric home, and gas just is not possible. We would have to go with propane, and we would have to have one of those great big silver tanks stuck in the backyard, and then we have to have the house retrofitted for propane.
Yeah, it'd be thousands of dollars. I called the utility company about it, and just to put the pipes and stuff into our house for that would be several $1,000s. So,
Yeah.
Not an option.
And as far as pinto beans, Kevin, I make pinto beans
She
often.
makes good pintos.
I don't put any peppers in it, but I do put a lot of bacon in it. So, yeah. Being safe is what's important.
I tell you, going to eat it, because we eat a lot of Mexican food when we go out. And of course, in restaurants around here, just about everybody uses peppers.
Yeah.
But there are a few dishes that don't have it in there. But we have to be very careful. We have a few select Mexican restaurants that we go to where we know that there are dishes that Kate can get that do not have peppers in them.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to be real careful.
Unfortunately, a lot of people in the food service industry, when you tell them you're allergic to peppers, they think you mean you're allergic to chilies or you're allergic to jalapeno only. So when we talk to the people, we have to say all vegetable peppers, including
What'd you say, pimentos?
pimentos are one of them, and paprika is something I cannot have because that is it. Ancho sauces of any kind, those are dried jalapenos, and I cannot have them. I have to be very, very careful because they just don't think about it. So yeah, it's something you have to be real
And
careful.
I'll tell you what, there's been a time or two where there's been a little bit in there. Kate can tell real quick.
Well, when you take a bite of something and you chewed maybe 3 or 4 times and suddenly you can't breathe anymore, it's pretty easy to tell.
Does get your
There's
attention.
something in there you didn't want. So yeah, it goes pretty quickly.
At least I can see why with Crohn's that peppers would bother you, definitely.
Yeah.
But I would love to have a gas kitchen. I really would.
Lonely Prepper Homestead is someone else who's allergic to peppers. I've not met many other people that are allergic to peppers.
It's pretty rare, that's for sure.
That is. Okay. Kate, did I see your post on aluminum? And I saw the post on aluminum, yes. And I don't have any aluminum in my kitchen. Even my cookie sheets and things are not aluminum. So yeah, I did. And thank you, because it is dangerous. At one time I had some club aluminum pans, but I got rid of them pretty quickly. Now, Lisa Clark is in an all electric apartment. Those are not all that fun, are they?
Well, Lisa Hensley, we have a pretty nice little barbecue outside that obviously is propane. And there have been times when Kate's used the burner that's on one side of it to do things with gas. But to be real honest, it's not worth the trouble. If we had a back deck, which we're hoping to get sometime in the near future, it might be worthwhile to set up a real gas stove kind of situation out there, but that's going to be down the road. But I would love to have gas. Growing up, just about everywhere that we lived, we had gas. As I was learning to cook, I had gas. I much prefer it to electric. I really do.
I do too. You have more control over the heat source.
Everything.
The home we lived in before we bought this one was gas. The heating was gas and the cooking was gas. While I didn't necessarily love the home anymore, I did love the gas.
One thing about gas homes, though, is I really hate to relight that furnace.
Yep. So
There's a few things that scare me, and gas is one of them.
I thought seriously about setting up our carport, which is next to the barn, as an outdoor kitchen. I have a sink that I could mount, hook it up to a garden hose, and have water out there. Put the barbecue pit out there so I could do that kind of thing and do some of my canning outside. But I have since discovered that the propane in barbecue pits does not provide consistent enough heat to do pressure canning. Somehow, for some reason, the heat level goes up and down, and you can't use it for pressure canning. So uh, I don't know. I don't think it's that way with propane stoves, but with the barbecue, the single burner on a barbecue pit, apparently, from what my research says, it doesn't do it.
UK, here we grow.
Hello,
Hi
hello,
there.
hello. It's wonderful to see you. Yeah, it is a bummer, Lisa. And I also thought about getting what's called a turkey fryer, which is also propane. And I may do some more research on them. They are also propane, but
That'll definitely do your canning.
I think they're a little bit more consistent in their heating. So that would be worth it. Christy, I can't tell you how many things I burned when I went from from gas to electric, because I was so used to the on-off working. And then I knew that the electric stove was going to stay on a little longer, so I'd turn it off when it was right. But it would, by the time I got it out of the pan, it would be burned because the burner was still basically on, even though I'd turned the switch off. So it does take some learning curve to get it going.
Well, we have kind of thought, Lisa Hensley, we have thought about setting up a gas stove in the carport, but for most of the year, it's pretty uncomfortable in that carport.
It's just hot.
It's just hot. And
we have no electricity out there. I'd have to run
it's
extension cords.
It's a ways away from the house, too. It's probably a good 100 feet or more.
Mm-hmm.
So, because that's actually attached to the barn.
But I could put a big fan and cook out there with the fan.
Thanks for coming by, Kilted Gardener.
Yeah, it's good to see you. I hope to hear from you soon. Have fun shopping. Give Bo a hug. For y'all that don't know, Kilted Gardener has a new baby boy. I say new, he's almost a year old now, but he's precious, and we get to see pictures of him on the Daddy Curbs family page, and he's just adorable. So Teresa says, I want to try canning, but I'm a little terrified. I'd have to invest in a canning pot. Teresa, there are things that can be canned without buying fancy equipment. If you will look on my channel and look back, one of the first videos I did was showing people how to make jelly without having fancy canning equipment. I used just a pot I had around the house. I just used everything that I normally have. So you don't have to spend the money if you're not sure you're going to do it.
Actually, it's one of Kate's most watched videos. It's the one on strawberry jam, and there's strawberry jelly, one of the two.
Yeah. And it really
but if you go back through her archives, there should be one there on strawberry jam. And that was all made just with hot water canning.
Yeah.
Or water bath canning.
Yeah. So you don't have to get a big fancy canner. If you have a soup pot, you can do it in that. Backyard gardening. Good to see you. Glad you could come in.
Yes, we are having a blessed Sunday. The weather is very nice today. It's just a good day.
Yeah.
And this is a new deal, so we're
doing it together.
Kind of excited about doing this.
Let's see. Lisa Hensley said, I'm still trying to gather ideas for off-grid.
Stood on the other side of the kitchen the first time she pressure canned.
I'm sorry. I didn't see
Christy
that.
Betts said she stood on the other side of the kitchen the first time she pressure canned.
Yeah, I can understand that. I sort of hid behind my kitchen island the first time I did it too, because I was a little nervous.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm the one that taught Kate how to do pressure cooking, not pressure canning, but pressure cooking. I grew up with it. My mother did it all the time, so I knew how safe it was. Now, nowadays, it's much safer. The pressure canner that she's got is phenomenal. I mean, there's enough safety measures built into that thing to, pretty much completely remove any anxiety that you might have about doing it. So it's really something the equipment has caught up with the interest. And for example, the pot that we use, it's one piece of cast aluminum, and then they grind it all out. So there's no seams, there's no connections that are going to split or break or crack, and everything is really, really solid. So it's very safe nowadays, much safer than it used to be.
And the food that goes into it sealed in containers, so you don't have leaching of anything from the aluminum into the food. So that's safe too.
Lonely Prepper Homestead, canning over an open fire. Wow.
I have wanted to do that. I truly have. I haven't tried yet, but I do. We still have a pressure cooker, and I like it, especially when I'm making corned beef and cabbage, which, by the way, I'm probably going to do a video on pretty soon because I now know how to make corned beef at home. And we love corned beef, and you can never find decent-sized pieces when it's around St. Patrick's Day. So I'll probably be doing some corned beef at home. Mom is in the garden. My son was out for his friend's birthday earlier, a meal and watching a basketball game. The girls and I went to visit my mom and stepdad, and they gave us dinner. Oh, how nice. How nice. Family visiting. That is really nice.
Texas life, I am thinking about an Insta Pot. I really am. Just, I don't know. If Kate agrees to get one, I might go ahead and get one.
We'll have to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm not sold that it's any better
I'm not
than
pushing
the
it on her
pressure
by
cooker.
any means, but I've seen a lot of people that have been really in favor of it. They talk about it all over the place. I've just never really, I don't know. It seems like it's pressure cooking for idiots is what it comes down to.
It's a lot more convenient because you don't have to put a lot of thought into it.
It does
Press the
everything
button
for you.
whatever
Yeah.
you're cooking.
It does everything for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get her one. Sure. Easy for you to say. But thank you for the advice, Celtic Bear. I appreciate it.
Roberta Driver, I see you're another corned beef and cabbage lover. The last time I made corned beef, I kind of made a mistake because I did
Kinda?
the corned beef.
Kind of.
All right, you tell the story. Tell them about it.
Well, she made this big deal out. She was going to make corned beef and cabbage one day. So, she's ginning around doing it, and she gets done, and all she has is cabbage. She forgot to do the corned beef. Yeah, I was amused. We had a cabbage dinner, just
Lots of veggies. It was a
lots of
vegan
veggies.
night.
Yeah, it was vegan corned beef and cabbage.
Yes. But I will be making it. So, and I'll remember to put the beef in because I'll be spending a lot of time making it. It takes 10 to 14 days to home make corned beef. You put it in this brine solution, you seal it in, and every day you go into the refrigerator and you flip it back and forth to keep the brining going through the meat. And it eventually works, but it takes a while.
Well, I'll tell you what, lately Kate has been buying really, really thick pieces of pork chops and brining those. And boy, that makes a huge difference in the tenderness and the flavor of those pork chops. And they cook up beautifully. And as you well know, pork is a really, really dense meat. But the way that she does it makes it really, really tender. And I'm enjoying eating her pork chops because they're really superb.
Thank you. Heavens says she showed her husband the pressure canner that she had bought. And he said, "Isn't that what the Unabomber used to make a bomb?" She put it back on the shelf until finally she said, "If we blow, we blow." And they're safe. And she's right. They are safe. A lot of people get really afraid of pressure canning. And I think that's a shame because it really makes a difference on what you can and the safety of what you're doing. So. And
yeah,
I love pressure cooking.
nowadays it's safe. I mean, yeah, there's still pictures floating out there on the internet about the lids embedded into the ceiling of a kitchen or something like that. But pressure cooking and pressure canning has come a long way just in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really has.
much safer now than it used to be.
And the All-American, as I've told people over and over again, the All-American is the premier pressure canner. so many safety features, so well made. You just can't go wrong. Lisa
They're
Clark,
not cheap.
I see you're in Austin. We're going to have to get together.
They're not cheap. That American canner that she bought was $300.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on special, wasn't it?
No, that was the full price. I
Okay.
didn't get it on special.
But it's huge. You know, she can do,
Yes.
how many pints can you do in that?
You can do, let me think, it's 14 quarts or 20 something pints. I don't remember exactly how many. I know I can never get it completely full.
You can stack them up. It's
Yeah.
deep enough to where you can do 2 layers
of
pint
quarts.
jars or quart jars.
Quart jars.
Okay.
Hello, Freaky Geek. It's good to see you again.
Hey there. Hi there, Freaky Geek.
Lisa Clark.
I'm Dave. Hi.
I'm north of San Antonio, so we're close. And also, Mary's Nest is in the Austin area somewhere. Hope we're both well. Thank you very much. We are doing very well. It's a great day. Temperature's wonderful. It's sunny outside. It's not hot. I mean, it's warm, but it's not hot. We have a great air conditioning system, so since it's brand new.
Boy, that's a story.
I don't know if we told y'all that or not. Lisa says you have a lot of family in San Antonio. Does that mean you come here often, Lisa? I mean, it's not that far a drive, an hour and a half at the most if you go the speed limit. So, of course, it depends on
Who
what
goes
part
the
of
speed
Austin
limit
you're
in
coming
Texas?
from.
Who goes the speed limit in Texas? Nobody.
I do.
Well, that's because you're an old lady.
I'm an old grandma, and I drive like an old grandma. You bet I do.
Yeah, when I used to get out on the road with my Mazda Speed 3, if I was under 85, I was going slow.
Yeah, you were.
Okay, let's
Thank
see.
you, Celtic. I'll look for it when we get off. And nobody does
nobody
the
has
speed
speed
limit
limit
anywhere.
anywhere. That's very true. Very true.
Actually, most of the time I do drive the speed limit, but I have been known to have a very heavy foot, especially if there is,
Castle Hills.
yeah,
You know where that
especially if there is an emergency. Recently, we thought my mom was having an emergency, and I made it from my house to her house. It's a 22-minute drive, and I made it in 16 minutes. So,
And Lisa Johnson says she's got folks in New Braunfels. That's
very good.
15 miles from us.
No, it's not even 15. It's 9 going up straight up for
Up
I-35.
35, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But even if we take the farm roads, it's still pretty close.
Yeah, it really is.
Excuse me.
So you need to get down here and visit her. She'll be 91 in December. Oh
Wow.
my goodness. My mom will be 91 next April. She just turned 90. Lonely Prepper, as a good friend, was assistant district attorney in San Antonio for a while. Is she still in San Antonio or he? I don't know. You don't say whether it's a male or a female, but is your good friend still in the San Antonio area? There, I got it out. I knew I could say it if I tried. This area is turning out to be, well, I knew it was big because we've got over 3 million people in the San Antonio proper.
In the greater area, yeah.
Yeah. But
Bear County and the surrounding area.
Mm-hmm. But I'm finding a lot of folks. I know a lot of folks online that are from the San Antonio area.
College
Christy
Station, I know
Dennis.
where that is.
I've driven like an old grandma since I was young. I have too, off and on. Like I said, I do. If there's an emergency, I can have a heavy foot.
Heaven's Essentials, talking about the first time you put something on the shelves. That is kind of an event, isn't it? That's. I'll tell you about my theory about little victories. We need to celebrate little victories. There's very few times in a person's life
By Celtic.
where big things happen that you can really say, that was a victory. But there are a lot of things that happen in our lives that are little victories. And if you celebrate those little victories, you live a happier life. You're not always feeling like nothing good ever happens to me. Little victories mean a lot. And around here, we do definitely celebrate little victories.
Yes, and I call that an attitude of gratitude. Celtic, we'll see you next week. Thank you for dropping in when you could. I appreciate it.
Wow, that's Lynx Acres. That tells me that you're probably going to have a good long life.
Yep.
101. Wow, almost.
She died a month before her 101st birthday.
Yeah,
you can count that as 101 in my opinion.
My mother was 2 weeks shy of her 90th birthday when she passed. So I'm hoping some of that rubs off on me.
And my mom just turned 90 last April, and she's still going strong. She has a few issues here and there, but she's still going strong.
She's having some fairly significant problems here lately, though. But she was having problems with her potassium levels and didn't know it.
Yeah.
And they've been playing around with that now for what, 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
Starting to get straightened out a little bit more.
And oddly enough, I went to my kidney doctor because I have only one kidney left. And my kidney doctor told me that I am also having a problem with too much potassium in my system now.
Hello, Candy.
So apparently it is inherited, maybe. Mom's potassium level is high because she's never been one to drink fluids. She does not like water. She does not like sodas. She just doesn't enjoy drinking anything. So she doesn't drink enough water or anything else to keep her system cleaned out. I, on the other hand, drink fluids constantly. You would not think that I would have problems with potassium, but because of some other health issues, they had me on a potassium supplement. I've now had to cut that in half because it's starting to go up in my blood, and they don't want that. So back and forth, back and forth.
Teresa Orsman, I'm very sorry you lost your mother. Sympathies to you. My mother died some years ago, but I still think about her a great deal. She was a fine woman.
Take care, Backyard Gardening. Come back again next week. It was good to see you. Lisa Clark said both of her parents are
both my parents are gone too. Of course, I'm 72. If they were still alive, it'd be kind of a miracle.
Now, I am truly blessed. I am 70 years old. My mom and stepdad are both 90 years old. They are healthy. They're great parents. I go to see them once a week at the very minimum. And I know that I am blessed. I know this is a true blessing for me to have parents still here.
Kate's a good daughter. She's the oldest. She's always been a good daughter.
Thank you. Well, I figure.
Oh my, on her birthday, that would be.
What is it?
Lisa Hensley lost her mom on her birthday in 2011.
Oh.
That would be particularly tough.
No, that would be real hard. Real hard. Oh my goodness.
My father died the day after my birthday. And I think they did me a kindness, really, because I was there. And my birthday is the 1st of February. And it was real close to midnight. And I wasn't actually in the room when they say that he passed. And then when I went back, of course, I was pretty upset and talking about how he died on my birthday. And so on the certificate, it said that he died about 10 minutes after midnight on the 2nd. So I think they may have just been being kind to me. But so I lost my father on my birthday, which was also particularly tough.
That's a shame.
93, that was a good long life. And 97, wow.
Christy,
The Lonely Prepper Homestead, that's a wonderful lifespan. You've got a lot of time to look forward to yourself, I think.
And Christy, we will pray for your sister. Hope that her testing comes out, they find out what's wrong and get the problem solved. Those are not fun. 93.
UTIs for women are really a bear. In her 50s. That is tragic, Lisa. That is tragic.
Lonely Prepper Homestead, I keep imagining that is the way I will feel when my folks die. I'm 70. I've had them all my life, obviously. And it's something that I cannot imagine how I will feel because they've always been there. But I hear from people like you all the time, and I feel that way too. Andrew O'Shea, I love the chat today. Nice to see so many sharing their lives. My thoughts will all those in difficult times. Before I go, what is your next video going to be about?
We've been talking about that.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm not sure we know. We've got a list of ideas, but basically it's just we run down the list and whatever hits us that day is what we do.
I'm kind of thinking that it would be fun to do well, it'll take a while, but to do the corned beef, because you do have to cure it for so long. So it ends up being a multi-part video. But, we might do something else in the meantime.
But he's
But I don't know
talking
what
about
you're doing to do
the live
next.
stream, not the video.
Oh, no, it said, what's your next video going to be
Oh,
about?
I'm sorry. I misread it.
But anyway,
That, or it might be making the prickly pear cactus. I need to get those tunas out of my the pear. The fruit of the prickly pear cactus is called an uptuna, Optuna, and I call them tuna.
Mama's in the garden. You get her telegram from the Queen. That's right. In the UK, if you turn 100, you get a telegram from the Queen. That is really cool, by the way. I think that's a great gesture. She might make it to 100 too. So, so what you can do? Send it to herself. Dear Queen, happy 100th birthday. Signed, the Queen.
Oh well. Anyway, I think I may be doing the prickly pear jelly. That's one that I've got to do soon. I don't know if it'll be the very next one, but soon. Do want to do the corned beef, but I'll make the corned beef, maybe take a few pictures of it in the process, but when I actually start to cook it, I definitely do that. Oh, Andrew, thank you so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry we kept you long, but I'm really glad you stayed.
Thanks for coming by, Andrew.
Yeah. Teresa, you want to try prickly pear jelly too? I think I've made it before, and the hardest part for me is getting rid of the spines from the fruit, because you have to stick them on a skewer and you have to burn the spines off. Then you can peel them and make fruit out of them.
Yeah, I got a propane torch that can do that.
Yep. But you got to get them on the skewer first.
True. Well, you can do that, pair of tongs. And,
yeah,
but
yeah,
anyway.
that's what I'll probably do.
Oh, let's see. What was she asking? Could you do
Thanksgiving
dishes or tips?
That's a good idea.
That's not a bad idea.
We have a few weeks coming before Thanksgiving. I can do what I traditionally do for Thanksgiving, but if there's something else you guys would rather have, let me know. Yeah, Lisa, getting your hands on. I have a friend who has a ranch, and he was out taking care of his garden that he has on the ranch, and he just picks them up for me. So, okay. As far as Thanksgiving, I do a really good corn pudding. I do a good sweet potato casserole. I do rice sometimes. I do green bean casserole. I even do turkey and ham if y'all want to see a turkey and ham video.
The Rosehip Jelly, Lonely Prepper Homestead wants to know if you've ever made.
I'm sorry?
Rosehip Jelly.
No, I have not made rosehip jelly, but only because the roses in this part of the country don't make hips large enough to do anything with. And I don't know if it's just the kind of one that grows well in the heat or what. I thought about going to Amazon and buying rose hips to make jelly with, and I may end up doing that, but so far I have not done it. I'm glad you're catching up, though, Lonely Prepper Homestead. That is really good. Oh, they're all over Arizona. Come and get some. Yeah. They're all over West Texas, too.
Yeah, you got to go out west to get those.
But the problem is the snakes like that area, too. And while I'm not afraid of snakes, I don't like rattlesnakes or things of that nature. So I would have a little trouble picking my own. Let's see. Place them in a dark, cool place for a few months and then plant them.
Well, I don't even know what rosehip jelly is, so I'm not a very good authority on that one.
The rose hip is the bottom part once the flowers all fall off. And in some roses, it's a rather large piece. And you put it in there and you make a juice, and it tastes like roses smell, I'm told. It's supposed to be quite good. Like your rose tea.
Rose tea we get down at Pasha's.
Healthy, respectful snakes. Yeah, me too. Christy Bettis, I made clover blossom jelly. Oh, that sounds good. I made jelly last year with
Grammy Karen. We seen her. Hi, Grammy Karen. Not sure I saw you come in.
I did, but I'm glad you're still here. It would have been your sweet mama's birthday. Well, happy birthday to your mama in heaven. I'm glad that you remembered that.
Tomorrow is my son's birthday. He's the younger of my two kids, and he'll be, what did I say, 47? Yeah. Well, my ex-wife has a 47-year-old son. I'm not sure I do.
Take care, Texas
Not
life.
true. He's definitely mine. Whoa, boy, is he ever. Okay, we're armor shoes. Yeah, there's...
Rosa Augusta. Does that have a blossom like a rose blossom, or is that something else? I've not I don't know anything about that. Rosehip syrup is a good source of vitamin C. I watched some television series on actual television, and one of them has a family that lives in Alaska, and they went on one of their episodes up into the hills near their house, and they harvested rose hips, and those things looked like they were about this big. They were huge, and she made rose hip jelly with them. So I would like to do that, but like I said, around here the rose hips are just tiny. They're probably not as big as the end of my thumb. So I've never tried doing anything with them. Maybe I can get some off of the internet. I also thought about getting what's it called? Oh, I can't think of the name of the berry.
Well, thank you, Kareem, for that.
I've also thought about getting some elderberries online. Now, I know that Broussard Homestead, if y'all haven't found them, they're great too. They sell an elderberry syrup kit where they send you everything except the water and the honey to make your own elderberry syrup. So that might be an idea.
An apple crusher. Huh.
There's a couple of
Great small fruit crushers for sale.
Why do you?
So what does that do for you? Just pull all the juice out?
What do you do with your crushed apples? Send you a stove to cook it down?
Lisa Hensley, we have 3 macaws. 2 of them are blue and golds. And Kate's bird is a hybrid called a Maui Sunrise. He's actually a hybrid from a hybrid. Very, very rare. My 2 guys, Kareem and Bravo. Kareem is about 21 or 22. Bravo's about 15. And we figure that Gandhi, who's sitting right over there, is probably 7 or 8 years old. Now, of course, they'll outlive us for sure. They can live 80 to 100 years under good conditions. And they do have pretty good conditions here, I must admit.
They do.
They eat a lot better than we do. But they kind of run the house, to be honest with you. So
you need an apple crusher and a fruit presser. So once the apples or fruit are crushed, then you press the juice out.
for apple cider.
You know, Lex, I don't crush mine. What I do to get the apple juice is I boil it and then I put it through what's called a jelly bag. It's a metal stand that's open in the center, and you put a bag in it, a muslin bag.
Kind of like cheesecloth, real fine
it's actually muslin. And then you dump the apples in there, and it drips down into the bowl below, and you get beautifully clear juice that way.
Lisa, you're one of the few, because I'll tell you what, they can get noisy.
Yes, they can.
There are times around here when all 3 of them are screaming. It's all you can do not to just walk out sometimes, but it is what it is. They're as much a part of our family as anybody else around here.
Oh, with the jelly bag, I have done pear jelly that way. I've done apple jelly that way. I've done grape jelly that way.
Thank you, Gandhi.
Hang on a minute.
Yes, Christy Betts, they are a big time investment and commitment, rather. I've had Kareem.
Go up. There we go.
Well, let's see. He's older than I think. Maybe he might be around 26.
Yeah.
I got him when he was about 5, and that was around 2001. So he's more like 25 or 26.
Probably
but all 3 of them are rescues. They all came to us through some very unusual circumstances. But we're devoted to them, and that's all I can say is that, we don't travel, mainly because we have birds.
Marie's vegetable garden popped in. It's so good to see you. By the way, guys, this is Gandhi. He's my baby. He is spoiled rotten. He thinks that I am his mate. So I have to
He doesn't want to have much to do with me. He's a pretty tough guy.
Yeah.
He's a pretty tough guy, aren't you?
He is unfortunately a one-person bird.
Yeah.
He doesn't
big
really
boy.
take to other people.
He's a big
As long as people don't try and touch him, he's fine. I take him out in public with me when we go to the pet store and stuff. Not a problem as long as people don't try and touch him.
Well, I can pick him up, but it usually ends up bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
Don't I? Yeah. But that's also my I've done a lot of outreach over the years with the birds, and I've met thousands of people. And then Kareem Bravo have stood on thousands of arms, from little bitty children to very, very old folks. And everybody says, "Oh, I'd love to have a bird like that." And I said, "Well, there's one thing you need to remember. If you're going to have birds like this from time to time, you are going to bleed. There is no doubt in my mind." I mean, I've got a multitude of scars on both arms from 20 years of having big birds. Most of the time, it's my fault. You've got to pay attention to them. They do telegraph what they're going to do. So if you're observant and you watch them pretty close, I don't get nailed nearly as much as I did 10 years ago. But they're a commitment. You're right. Okay, apple juice.
Good to see you, Mary. I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for dropping in. By the way, you're right.
Ooh.
If you're doing a huge bunch for apple cider, you would need a crusher. What I'm doing is small amounts. I don't make more than a gallon at a time. So you're right.
It's about 10 after, darling. Are you?
Is it that late?
Yeah, it's 10 after, too.
I did not realize it was so late.
Teresa, thank you for coming by. Oh, I had a slice of apple pie last night. That was good. Not gluten-free, though, I'll tell you that.
Bear Paw Timber, thank you very much. This is my baby Gandy. And he's, like I said, he's spoiled and he thinks that I'm his mate.
Bring him down here so you can see him from the side, too, just on camera. So he's got his coloring, especially on his back, is just incredible. Like I said, he's called a Hawaiian Sunrise, and he's a hybrid, two hybrids and then two hybrids. So, and most of the time you don't get birds like this because that hybridization process generally leaves birds sterile. So that's why he's so extremely rare. I have no idea what he's worth. None. Probably $5,000-$6,000 easy.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's it. Eat the table up. Yeah, oh yeah, I know. You'll take my finger off, giving half a chance, wouldn't you? Huh? Yeah, you would. Look at this. He's actually being kind of nice to me.
Oh.
Good boy.
He's in a good mood. He's over here now
Good
instead of
boy.
being left on the stand.
He's a
Well,
good
folks,
guy.
I didn't realize it was as late as it is. So we probably ought to shut down and let you guys go back to your real life.
Thank you very much for coming by. I guess my biggest question is, should Kate continue to do this alone, or is it okay that I'm sitting here beside her?
Yeah.
So I don't want to butt in on her channel. This is her thing, and I'm just here to kind of give her some support, and this seemed like the next logical step.
Love the chat.
So,
Nice to see you. You totally should join in. Thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you.
Thank you. I've been telling him all along that he's a part of this channel and he needs to be here. So I'm glad you guys agree with me.
well, at least one does.
Oh, there's quite a few if you look down.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope to see you next Sunday, and hopefully sometime during the week you'll see a video come out. So you take care. Love seeing you. Bye.
Bye-bye, y'all.